Well, everyone, it's been a while since I've done one of these where I call out the hypocrisy and the toxicity and the just ridiculousness of the Snyder Cult. Well, today, I couldn't help myself. I've been seeing way too much ridiculousness. You can tell they're starting to get a little nervous, a little anxious because Superman is just around the corner and the DCU is really about to take off, and they're nervous. They're nervous that this new universe is going to take off and really push the past far behind us. So now they're getting out there and they're really just pushing all these narratives and all these weird ideas that are just ridiculous. Honestly, it is. It's just really, really, really ridiculous. Now, first up, we got a teaser for Peacemaker just last night, and I think people were really, really excited about it. I don't know if it was last night or this morning or whatever. Basically, John Cena went on to some NBA show. I don't follow the NBA, so I don't know when it came. But he went on some NBA show, and he showed us a little snippet, a little teaser for Peacemaker. And James Gunn was like, guys, John Cena did this, but the full trailer is coming out this Friday. And I'm like, hell yeah. Hell yeah, we're getting the full trailer for Peacemaker. But we can't stop there, can we? No, we can't stop there. Because what do we get? Well, we get our boy, Aaron. Look, he's my boy. He's my boy. Look, sometimes he gets a little confused, and that's okay. That's okay. But he sits there and goes, we're getting a full, or a Peacemaker Season 2 trailer that releases in August. You know, Peacemaker Season 2, this new season of Peacemaker is releasing in August. He's a little upset about that. It's releasing in August, and we're getting a full trailer for it before a Superman trailer that releases in June? Bravo, Warner Brothers. Well, first off, Aaron, remember, it's Warner Brothers Discovery, but it's DC Studios that is doing this, not Warner Brothers. So I know it's a little confusing. I want to help you out. Like, again, I'm here to hold your hand if you need it. But, again, I'm here to help. But, again, I wanted to correct you. I didn't want to call you out and be rude. So, just to correct you, this here is just a teaser, okay? It's not a full trailer. And I know that we're getting a full trailer on Friday, but you shared this teaser. So, I just wanted to make sure you understood that we've also already had a Superman teaser, which came out way back in December, broke all sorts of records. I don't know if you remember that. We've also got some music released. Go check out Apple Music, Spotify, and all those things. We've had a TV spot. We had a really cool behind-the-scenes featurette, an extended scene from the movie, as well as a whole bunch of toys and a whole bunch of other things. And mind you, I don't know if you're aware of this, but marketing for movies and television shows are handled very differently. Very, very differently, okay? So, trying to spread this narrative that, oh man, we got a Peacemaker trailer before we got a Superman trailer. Well, first off, what else have we gotten from Peacemaker before today? Nothing really. I think we got a couple images. That's about it. So the fact that we're getting a trailer, okay. It's a show that comes out in like 3.5, 4 months. The movie for Superman comes out in July, and we have a whole plethora of stuff. It's okay, Aaron. It's okay. Not to mention, the rumor mill is a-buzzing. We may be getting this Superman trailer within the next 7 to 10 days, buddy. So I think it's okay. I think we'll be okay. I think we're going to get a Superman trailer in due time. You know, I see people here that says, I think it was even Aaron that was like, it could be like a Puppy Bowl scenario where next week it's going to be nothing big. Come on, man. Come on. You just want to spread that hate. You just want to be upset at DC Studios because you want to be upset at DC Studios. And I get it, it's okay. You can be upset at DC Studios because you didn't get what you wanted. That's fine. But at some point, when are you just going to accept that you're not getting what you want and you just walk away? That's my question. All right, anyways. So moving on, I just want to make sure people understand that don't listen to the hatred from people like this and the ridiculousness. Now, our movie news also this over the past couple days, I don't know if they were the ones that kind of started this discussion and this debate online, but was really trying to put some information out there about if James Gunn kept the cast that Zack Snyder hired, so Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, and Ray Fisher, Ezra Miller, and yada, 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 would the Snyder Bros have been on board with everything and watching everything? I don't think that would have happened. I don't think that they would have cared. I don't think they would have watched. I don't think they would have wanted to watch. I say this all the time, that removing the remnants of the past, specifically the main faces of the DCEU. So you're talking about the Henry Cavills, the Gal Gadots, the Ben Afflecks, the ones that were the main players in the DCEU, was very important because those are the most recognizable. Specifically, people like Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot, because they were the main faces. They were the ones that were really pushed as the main faces. You have to remove them, okay? Ben Affleck's too is one of them. Now, if they would have kept someone like Ray Fisher, Ezra Miller, if they would have had successful movies, if they wouldn't have had issues behind the scenes, I could have seen that being a possibility. But the issues behind the scenes, Ezra Miller having the lackluster of a movie, it's just not possible. There's no reason to. Starting fresh and new makes the most sense, specifically even with those Justice League characters, okay? But let's get to the point at hand. The point at hand is, would the Snyder Bros have stuck around and been supportive of James Gunn had he kept those actors? No, I don't think they would have. And you see people like the Snyder Queen, oh boy, the Snyder Queen, goes, you want me to support a director who fired all my favorite actors, scrap plans for a continuation of the DCEU in favor of his own, canceled Ayer Cut and Batman Forever from being re-released, and who antagonized and divided the DC fanbase more than anyone else? LOL, no. First off, Sammy, Miss Snyder Queen, he didn't fire all your favorite actors. No. Henry Cavill didn't have a contract. Ben Affleck decided not to return. Gal Gadot was up for a new contract, didn't get a new contract. Ezra Miller, well, we know what happened there. Ray Fisher didn't come back. And, well, Jason Momoa got a new deal, got rehired as a different character. So he didn't fire these actors. He didn't fire them. They went in another direction with the DC franchise, the DC IP, because of the lackluster direction that it was going in before he came in. Now, you want to say he scrapped plans for a continuation of the DCEU in favor of his own. Now, you were on board with the continuation of the DCEU without Snyder? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Because the numbers weren't showing that anybody was showing up for those movies. So if you were on board, hey, I'm sorry, but you have to understand how business works. And nobody was going to those movies. They had to change. They had to change course. They had to do something different. And the best plan at that point in time was to start fresh and start new. So you can accept that or not, but that is the case. That is facts. That's what they had to do. You say he canceled the Ayer Cut. First off, you can't cancel something that was never announced to be coming. All right? Maybe David Ayer thought that it was coming. Maybe he was told that it was coming. We don't know. Even David Ayer hasn't said that it was 100% coming. He says that he was having discussions, I think. I think that was something that was said. Maybe he said that, maybe he didn't. I'm not even 100% sure on that. But regardless, it was never announced that the Ayer Cut was coming. You can't cancel something that was never announced. Same with the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever. Look, I know people have been talking about this Schumacher cut of Batman Forever. I think, didn't Kevin Smith have a showing of it at his theater like a year ago or something? It's there. It exists. We know it exists. If it comes out, it comes out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Why Why are people so attached to these old things from the past? Why don't we look to the future? If these things from the past eventually come out, great, cool, that's awesome. But if not, those movies, those things are not going to give the studio money like a new film would. That's what you need to understand. This is a business. Re-releasing those things are not going to give them $500, $600 million. And that's what the business needs. So you got to think about it logically. And if you're talking about antagonizing the fans, are you talking about how he calls out the quote-unquote scoopers for talking about bullshit? You're talking about how he calls out a YouTuber who made up ridiculous claims about him and Henry Cavill? Like, besides that, he doesn't antagonize the fans. He talks to the fans on social media. He hypes them up, gives them information, far more and far better than any other director does. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. Move on. It is what it is. Like, I don't know what you want. And again, this specific channel here, this specific profile on X, Lethal Geeks, which I only heard about maybe about a week or two ago, goes, never that, never that. Now, I bring them up because they are going to be part of my next bit here I bring up. But I watched a video of theirs just last week because somebody told me on one of my videos to watch them. I never heard of them until a buddy told me about it. I commented on one of the videos, I think. Was it one of their videos? I think it was one of their videos. Maybe it was. Regardless. And then one of their... No, I think it was on somebody else's video I commented. And somebody responded to me and goes, why are you even here commenting? You know, the Lethal Geeks they're trying to take you down, Slav. I was like, they're trying to take me down? Like, what do you mean they're trying to take me down? I don't know how they're trying to take me down. Look, Lethal Geeks, if you hear this, if you see this, if you are trying to take me down, please reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you because that's what I do. Look, I have a conversation with everybody. Sean O'Rourke, I have Matt Jarbo, I've talked to Aaron Fisher, I reached out to other people, Real Shift, I reached out to others as well. I would love to talk to whomever there is. If you have a problem with me, talk to me. I would love to hear it. All right? But moving on, this then came up, another Snyder Queen thing, but it looks like, if you look at this post, it looks like people were sharing these box office revenues saying, adjusted for inflation in 2025, the Snyderverse box office revenue. And they're all excited like, haha, look, I'm proving something. Man of Steel, $670 million. Batman, $874, blah, blah, blah. And if you take a look at it, adjusted for inflation, Man of Steel made $926 million. And Batman v Superman, 1.1 billion, and blah, blah, blah. And they're all excited. And then they're like, and people will look you dead in the eye and say, these were flops and responsible for the downfall of DC, blah, 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 blah. And everybody started resharing it. And Lethal Geeks even shared it. It was like, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like freaking out, like all excited, like they're proving something. Well, first off, all right, I want to put something out there. Stop using this stupid inflation thing. It's not the flex you think it is. It doesn't take all variables into consideration. All right? Look at the economy today. Look at all the variables of today. You have the economy, you have the price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of everything is crazy. Then you take a look at all the different types of memberships it is at theaters. Take a look at 2013. It is different in 2013 than today. You take a look at the state of the world, the state of people's mental capacity. Take a look at streaming compared to theaters. What are people willing to do? Are they willing to go to the theaters as much as they were in 2013? No, they really aren't. Okay, so yeah, you can adjust Man of Steel for inflation and it could make $800 million. Cool. That would be if the same amount of people in 2013 went to the theater today as they did then. But do you really think the same amount of people in 2013 are going to go to the theater today to see it? No, they wouldn't. A lot of them would stay home and wait 90 days to catch it on streaming. A lot of people would say, it's too much money to go to the theater today. I'm not going to the theater to see it. I'll wait for it to come on video or on demand or whatever. You can't there are so many variables now to look at that saying adjusted for inflation does not work. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, with this ridiculous post that you guys are trying to prove something with. Look, I love Man of Steel. I love Batman actually, all these movies that you pointed out here, Man of Steel, BVS, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, and Aquaman. I enjoy all those movies. Suicide Squad being the least of my favorite of them all, but I love them all. I do. I love all these movies. And I think that they all should have done massively better than they did. But the fact of the matter is, Man of Steel underperformed. Underperformed and flop are two massively different things. Keep that in mind. Batman vs. Superman underperformed. Doesn't mean it didn't succeed. Doesn't mean it didn't make the studio money, but it still underperformed. Did not flop, but underperformed. Wonder Woman did fantastic. For what it was, I've never heard anybody say that Wonder Woman flopped. Never heard anybody say that Suicide Squad flopped. Never, ever heard anybody say that Aquaman flopped. Actually, I think I've heard more people say that Aquaman overperformed than anything else. So you're sitting here saying that people sit there and say that these movies flopped. Most people will say Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman underperformed. 100% they will say that. And why will they say that? It's because the time that those movies came out, 2013 to 2016, was the massive comic book movie genre boom. Movies were huge in that genre then. It was a sure thing that those movies could easily, at that point in time, make $500 million plus. Easy. I've shown the graphs. I've shown them. Go to my website, slavsfreetalk.com. I've shown the graphs. You can find them. The fact that those movies couldn't make, first off, Man of Steel making $670, that's odd. That's respectable. But man, it should have made more. It should have made more. I think the medium at that time was like 800, 700, somewhere around there. If I remember correctly from the graph. I should have had it pulled up. Whatever. But Batman vs. Superman, the first movie touting Batman and Superman and then having Wonder Woman in it, not making $1 billion, that is underperforming. That is a disappointment. Hands down. Again, I'm not saying that it was a flop. I'm not saying that it wasn't successful financially. It was. It made the studio money. But it underperformed expectations. And you have to understand that there is a difference there. So when people talk about that, they are not wrong. If they say flop, yes, go ahead and call them out for that. If they say it flopped, call them out. But if they say it underperformed, it absolutely did, guys. When you take a look at what comic book movies were making at that time, as well as the content in that movie, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, come on. Easy $1 billion, hands down, in 2016. Should have been no questions asked. No questions asked. Should have been the highest grossing movie of that year. No questions asked. Finally, this here, I saw this post, and this guy Danger, Hayden Barton, says, shame all 1.42 million of us found out we aren't real fans because we wanted a sequel and supported the actors simultaneously. We fortunate to have the real fans paving path. Basically, I thought this was funny because this person actually thinks that when there's a hashtag that says it has 1.42 million tweets, they actually think that there was 1.42 million people tweeting that. That's not how it works. No, that was just that many hashtags. Now, you realize most people, specifically with that fandom, would tweet 10, 15, 20, 30 times in like 5 minutes. So you're probably looking at maybe a few hundred people. No, maybe it's a few a few hundred people. But I just think it's funny. And then Lethal Geeks tried to like, yeah, you're right, yeah. Like, like that. Like, come on. It's just ridiculous. And they try to like really come after fans of DC right now. And that's what's just, upsetting to me, is that you go after people who are just really excited about what is DC, because they can't accept the fact that, look, DC failed 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It failed. It did. And they're trying something different. And that's okay. They can try something different. It's time to move forward. If you can't accept that, then it's on you. It's not on us. It's not the DC fans right now who are excited for Superman. We're looking to the future. We're not looking behind us. If you can't look to the future and all you can do is look behind, then get off the internet. Stop bitching and complaining. Go watch your movies on Max. Go watch your Blu-rays and your DVDs of the past, because that's all you're going to have. It's that simple. But there you go, guys. That's what I have for you today. Wanted to just bring up some of this and just dispelling some of the BS that I saw over the last couple days. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Love to hear what you have to say. With all that said, guys, I'll catch you all later.